second. So
if you want to take over.
If I show you a picture from the Chinese space station that shows a flat Earth, would you be a flat earther?
The Chinese space station.
Yeah, so there's a Chinese space station. It's 23 kilometers lower than the ISS, and it shows a flat Earth. Oh, okay, no problem.
All right, send it.
I would like to see that picture too.
But not that it proves like too much. Even like if I have a ball and I'm looking directly at an angle.
No, that's way convenient, isn't it?
I'm kidding.
Convenient. Now the pictures don't prove anything.
Yes,
See, this is the funny
Let me actually look at
is that when you have a double standard, brother, you have no standard.
Okay, yo,
pictures
Indio,
from
I have a question.
Here you go. Look in the chat, brother. This is what it shows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of flat Earth.
Indio.
So is yours flat now?
Oh my days. Okay.
I can also post an astronaut that claims he's on the ISS say the Earth is flat and beautiful. So do you want to post that too? The quote. Set it on ABC. News
put it in if you want to. I'll type NASA images of Earth, and then we can see if it's flat or not.
Okay, guys.
There's a mathematician. Can you tell him about the planetarium director?
Albert, I have a question. If you guys believe the Earth is flat, why is there time zones between the?
No, we don't believe.
Yeah, I asked that earlier, and then they took it back to the curvature and the math, but they never answered why there were seasons and why we have night and day.
Yeah.
Why can I not
put
put pictures?
If you believe it or if you know it, why is it that there's time zones when the Earth is flat? If the Earth was flat, why doesn't everyone not have like the same time zones and stuff like that?
Because
I didn't get an answer.
Are
you gonna let me answer?
Go ahead.
Are you gonna let me answer? I'll answer. Time zones are man-made. They're political constructs. For instance, China has one time zone. Okay, so check this out. There's 19 time zones in the north, 24 in the middle, and 32 in the south. Why is that?
Can we talk about something more? If that
no,
fair enough. I can
no, we're not gish galloping. No,
I believe you. Listen, I believe
we're not gish galloping.
You know what?
This is called
no. You're right. Listen, you're absolutely right. Time zones are.
You're muted. Shut up. Okay. You're not the one who asked. This guy is. So answer why there's this variation of time zones.
Why there is? Because the Earth is.
Yeah, there's 19 in the north, 24 in the middle, and 32 in the south.
I cannot give you the scientific reasons. The reason.
The scientific reason?
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Oh, this would be funny.
Man. Yeah, it would be funny because you said time zones are man-made, bro. Okay?
They are.
So if you have never left America, let me explain for you, okay? Because
there's one time zone in China.
The Earth is circle. Let me explain. The Earth spins.
He's confusing time zones with day and night.
Jamesy, just let him finish. Go ahead.
No.
The Earth spins.
I'm not confusing time zones, okay?
So 32. So there's 32 hours in a day, because there's 32 in the south.
32 hours in a day. Since when?
There's 32 hours in a day. Okay, you're muted, dude. You're just trolling. Fucking dude said 32 hours in a day. Okay, Saphire, go ahead.
I think he just repeated what you.
Thank you so much. Okay. You know what? Time zones, man-made. Fair enough. I don't really care about that. Tell me about seasons.
How you just say? Hold on. You just say.
No, it's so funny that they ask a question and then answer their own question. I'm going to answer it. Right? Ask a question, I'll answer it. If you answer it yourself, dude, I'm going to mute you, dude.
How did I answer? I don't know how I answered myself, but I said.
Because after you asked me the question, what are seasons? Right? You kept talking.
No, I said I also elaborate. I said, how do we have summer one place and then Australia they have winter, for example?
Because day length varies depending on the position of the sun. Okay, so when the sun is in the sky longer, when the sun is in the sky longer, it's summer. When it's in the sky shorter, it's winter. Pretty simple. So there's something called let me explain to you, because I don't think you even know your own paradigm. So there's meteorological and astronomical seasons. They're two different things. So the astronomical seasons are like June 22nd and December 22nd and the equinoxes, right? So those are the astronomical seasons. Depends on where the sun is against the background stars. But there's meteorological seasons. That's what you're talking about. The hot, cold, right? The hot, cold stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So those meteorological seasons weekly correlate with the astronomical seasons. For instance, in San Francisco, it's hotter in the winter than the summer. And the reason is because
I don't
flows
think
of
you
water
answered
that come
what my
into San
question was.
Francisco. Because you have an idea of seasons and the way they work, and I'm trying to tell you how they actually work.
Okay.
Next.
Before
Here we
that,
go.
I just
Dish out
asked.
to something else. Here we go. Was it
When we
eclipses?
have,
Is it
I
the
don't know what
edge?
you're
Is
talking
it fucking? Is it fucking?
No. It's the same. It's the same. I'm just elaborating on like what I wanted you to answer.
Okay.
I said I made the example. Australia.
I'm answering factually.
I made this at Australia. They have winter. In Europe, they have summer. Like the factual with the meteor. What do you call it? It doesn't matter.
That's a good example. That's a good example. So in Tasmania, which is south of Australia, it snows in their winter, or in the summer, rather. Yeah, it snows in Tasmania in their summer. Tasmania is the same, is the equivalent latitude as Detroit, Michigan. It's never snowed in the summer there, ever. So it's like 42
and what
north
does that
and 42
conclude?
south.
What do you say?
You don't even understand your own model. Okay, so...
No, I do understand. I'm just you're talking about one single place.
The temperature, the variation in temperature is only weakly correlated to the astronomical position of the sun. There's other factors like terrain, geography, upper level airflows, water currents, all these other things, which also affect the variation of temperature.
Okay, so oh my days!
You know what
I'm trying to word it so that you can't twist my words because I feel like you keep twisting my words.
Do you know what weakly correlated means?
Oh my days! See, okay, I don't get. Why are you debating like that?
Do you know what weakly correlated means?
Why are you trying to undermine like what I'm saying?
I'm asking you a question. How do I undermine you by asking a question? Do you know what weakly correlated means?
I feel like you are. You have a condescend.
Okay, one more time I'm going to ask you. Do you know what weekly correlated means?
No, I don't know what it means, but I also don't think it's relevant to what I was asking you.
It is because what you think of the seasons you're confusing the astronomical and meteorological seasons and supposing they're the same thing. They're not the same thing.
No, it doesn't matter for me. That wasn't the question. That's what I was saying.
At the peak of summer, during the longest day of the year, is that the hottest day of the year?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my! You don't.
That's
understand.
it wasn't what I was asking.
You're a sped, bro.
Oh my days!
It is. You're asking about the seasons. So I told you.
Do you say wait? Are you saying the sun stays in one position at all the time? I'm saying how can we in one place?
No, the sun moves. Listen, I told you.
While in the other place have winter.
What causes summer?
Okay, you're saying the sun moves around the flat Earth.
Yes, moves above the surface of the Earth. That's what we see.
Okay. You know what? This makes so much sense because if you think the sun moves around the Earth, see, that's when we have a fundamentally problem. That's why we're never gonna agree on this.
Okay.
Because you say the sun is moving around. So it makes sense in your flat Earth now.
Why do I say the sun moves? Why do you think I say that?
Oh my days! Because the Earth is flat, apparently. So
no,
it has to move around.
Because I see the sun move.
It's us that are moving. It's not the sun.
Okay. How do you know that?
We are moving. That's why we have.
How do you know that? And I'm going to ask you again. How do you know that?
How do you know that?
I can see the sun move. That's how I know the sun's moving. How do you know that the Earth is moving and the sun is still? How do you know that?
Oh my day. How do you know gravity exists?
Oh God, dude.
Because we aren't dead. That's why.
Answer the question. If you're going to be a dishonest if you're going to be dishonest, I'll just, dude, I don't have to listen to you. I can just mute you. So answer the question. How do you know the Earth is moving?
You keep saying you can just
Last time, how do you know the Earth is moving? Stop talking.
Because we know as human beings the Earth are moving.
How?
We know as human beings the Earth are moving.
How?
Because of calculations, because of math, but you don't believe in math. So that's the problem.
Calculations of what?
Oh my, that the Earth moves around. The Earth's gravity.
The Earth's gravity moves around.
That's why. Gravity makes us all hold still. Gravity makes the water go back and forth. What do you mean?
Dude, this is
Oh
getting
my
worse
days.
and worse.
Can you, by the way,
Hey,
can you
Indio,
unmute Cooper first?
You hit rock bottom
Can
and
you
you started
unmute
digging,
Cooper?
brother.
Yeah?
Well, hold on,
Wait.
Sapphire. Before we
Can you
unmute
unmute
Kuiper,
Cooper?
hold on. Before we unmute him, I just have to point out. You said we know. Then when asked, you gave no sufficient explanation, so you don't actually know.
I cannot put pictures in the chat. I tried to do it earlier.
Pictures.
But the thing is, I think even if
They'd
I
have
put
to
picture,
measure the
even if I
motion
put
of
like,
Sapphire. They'd have
yeah.
to measure the
Also, I was
motion.
answering
They'd
Indio,
have
with
to-
all due
okay.
respect. He asked me a question. I was just answering his question.
Okay, and
I
you
said,
said
if I put-
pictures.
Yeah.
You got a
No,
picture of
it
the
was
Earth spinning.
before. No, I had a picture of like the Earth from above to show that it looked round as well. Because you said it looked, square.
How do you know? Listen, how do you know that's a picture of the Earth?
What do you mean? Because it's taken from the same. You took one from.
How
a
do
space
you know
station,
any of
one
that?
From another
I'm
space
asking
station.
you how you know any of that.
How do you know the picture you sent in was real?
I never claimed it was real.
Okay, so you don't even know that you're claiming it's real. Like you can't even back it up.
No,
You just
listen. You missed the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise was that pictures don't prove anything. Because if I show you a picture of a flat Earth, you'll reject
what can
it.
prove? No. You made a really good point. What can prove?
Measurements.
Yeah, math. Measurements of math. And we said everything.
Not measurements of math, measurements of objects with devices.
Okay, I can ask you something. Okay, you said, how can I know that like the Earth is moving? Because you can see with your own eyes, you know?
You can, from where?
How does a blind person know that they're moving in a car? They can't feel it.
From where?
But then it's still moving.
From where do I go to see the Earth
what did you ask
moving?
From where?
Okay, I'm going to ask you again. You have a real problem answering questions. From where can I see the Earth moving?
No, from where?
So you just interrupt me again for like the 15th fucking time, bro. You're going to stop. I'm going to stop you because when you interrupt me, you're muting me. And I'm not going to be muted. I'm going to mute you. Okay? So I'm going to ask you. You said we can see the Earth moving. From where? Where do I go to see this?
Indo, you're having an ego.
No. You earlier said we can't see the Earth move, but you said you can see the sun move with your eyes. That was like your
that's right.
argument. You said I can see the sun move, you cannot see it.
Yeah, that's the evidence.
I said, how does a blind person know that they're moving in a car? They can't see it.
Well, they have a vestibular system in their ears.
It's still moving.
They have a vestibular system in their ears.
Oh my days! They're saying they're moving. A blind deaf person. How do they know they're moving? They're still moving.
Okay, the hearing is not the vestibular system.
The thing.
You can be deaf.
I know what the vestibular
have balance,
system is,
bro. In your ears,
you
is
still have
basically a
balance.
gyroscope called the vestibular system. There's a fluid, and when it moves around, it moves it. Listen to him fucking flap, dude. You're muted, dude.
I know what it is.
Listen. You need to get control of yourself. Get control of yourself. Go find the evidence that the Earth is moving, and then come back after you get control of your mic and your emotions. Okay, moving on. Okay, Wham song.
You unmuted me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to the seasons and the time zones thingy. Okay.
So
the season thingy. How is it? There's like how Safi asked the question. How is it like? There's 4 seasons. Yeah, Australia. There's winter right now. There's summer for us here in Europe and stuff like that. How is it like that for them? And the Earth is flat.
Okay. What does it mean to be winter? When you say it's winter, what does that mean?
Yeah, the sun is far away from us. Isn't it?
Okay, that's not the cause of seasons in your own paradigm. In your own paradigm, the cause of seasons is a 23.3 degree tilt of the Earth, not distance to the sun. So you might want to go check back and go read up on your own religious belief, and then come back when you know it. Okay.
Hey, we might have to put out an event, bro.
What's the cause of seasons? Okay, teach me.
I told you the 23 degree tilt of the Earth is the claimed cause of seasons.
Yeah.
Hey, let me put up an event banner. Teach you the globe.
Fuck, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's worth 0.000000001 Bitcoin. Okay, I don't know if you're listening when I was talking to the kid, right? I told you that there's two types of seasons: astronomical, which is the position of the sun and day length, and the meteorological seasons, what everybody, the laymen think is the seasons, right? Gets hot, gets cold, all that stuff. But that is not uniform throughout the earth. In some places, it's reversed. Okay? Because the local geography, topography, and flows of air and flows of water and different factors somehow invert what you would think would be the seasons. Okay? The astronomical seasons never change. Okay? It's the longest day of the year in the summer in the north, and it's the longest day of the year in the winter in the south, and it's supposed to be, half and half on the equinox, even though it actually isn't. So that's astronomical seasons. They're weakly correlated, so there's like a time delay, right? And sometimes there's an inversion with the meteorological seasons. So how do seasons happen on a flat Earth? Well, what causes the seasons, period? And how could anyone ever know that? All we know is that the sun is in the sky for more or less periods of time. And when it's in the sky for a longer period of time, then it gets to be summer. When it's in a shorter period of time and lower on the horizon, then it's winter. If you want to know the actual cause and effect. You reading your DMs, One Song? Is it Professor Phil? Or is it who's the other one?
Oh yeah.
Who's the crazy dude from the other server?
John Hawkins.
Oh, Cooper, I'll unmute you. I should have unmuted you before Warburg. Sorry about that. I only muted you because it was getting to be a shit show when we record this, and we don't want 5 people talking at once.
That's okay. Okay. Am I talking to you, or it's just you that I'm talking to?
I mean, whoever. Anybody you.
I want to talk to you. Talk to you.
Someone special? Okay.
No, I want to talk. Yeah. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you a flat earther or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the last boss. I'm the final boss, bro.
You're the final boss. Amazing. Okay, cool. So, there needs to be a fundamental understanding first, yeah? We need to have some sort of groundwork before we start talking about stuff, yeah?
Okay.
So, I asked this guy earlier before. Okay, I'm on. Let's just ask this, yeah? If you're in a car or whatever, you carry on going down, just down, straight, yeah?
Mm-hmm. A slope? Going down a hill?
No, just down. No, you're going straight, you're just going north. You're just going north, and that's it. You're not moving, you're just going north, yeah?
Okay.
If you reach in the exact same position, okay, that you did, let's say, I don't know, 5 days ago, 5 days straight, you're driving, theoretically, and you reach the same spot, would you still be a flat earther or not?
Obviously not. No one's ever done that, now have they?
Okay, cool. That's good. How long?
That's only because you specified north. If you specified east or west, it would have been different.
Listen, to do a proper circumnavigation to prove the globe, you have to do a north-south circumnavigation on a single meridian.
No, I mean I
can just answer your question. North-south circumnavigation on a single meridian. Okay, that's the only way to do it.
What? Okay.
To prove the globe.
You wouldn't even prove it because it could be wrapped around.
I'm not trying to prove the globe with that. Okay. How long is the Earth? Did you know, or you don't know?
No, indeterminate.
You don't know.
Maybe even indeterminable.
Okay.
We don't think the Earth is a disc in space, brother. If that's what you think we thought.
Think it's infinite? You think it's infinite?
No.
Okay, so okay, is it infinite or not?
When you think of the universe, right? Do you think is it infinite?
No, the universe is not infinite. And let me ask you: is the Earth infinite?
So neither is the flat Earth. And what's outside the universe? Any idea?
I don't know.
Does that question have any meaning?
I think it's irrelevant to what I'm asking you.
No, it's the same thing because The flat Earth is not inside of a universe. The flat Earth is the universe, and everything is within it, right? So this is called an embedding space versus something that's embedded in an embedding space. The Earth is not embedded in an embedding space. It is the embedding space, right?
Okay.
So if you have a piece of paper and you have a circle in it, right? The paper is the embedding space. The circle is the embedded object. The Earth is the paper. It's not the circle.
Okay, but bro, all I asked you is the Earth in terms of distance infinite or not? I don't know why you're talking about this.
Nothing is infinite. I covered that. Nothing is infinite.
Nothing is infinite. Okay, cool. So if it's not infinite.
Infinity is a concept that means that there's a number I can keep counting after. So in this reference, right, in this context, it means if I can always add some other distance, right? I can always go a little bit further if the Earth was infinite. Okay,
I agree.
That's what an infinite Earth would be. That idea is idiotic.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. I was speaking to the other guy. He said it could be, but okay.
I mean,
now
it could be, but I don't believe in infinities. I just think they're trash.
That's not what he said.
Look, brother.
That's not what he said.
Okay, well, whatever. It doesn't. We don't all think the same thing. I don't happen to believe infinities are real. I think you can talk about them. They're a nice concept, but you can't do them. You can just blab about them. It's like thinking about unicorns. It's like thinking about unicorns.
We're on the same page. I agree with you.
I think infinity is Allah.
Hi, bro.
I don't think Allah is a numeric value that you can always count beyond.
Okay, if you go to the edge now, yeah? So let's say if it's not infinite.
What edge?
The edge.
None of us think there's an edge.
Okay, so how can it
So the flat Earth, you don't believe? Okay, this is a known paradox that goes back to Zeno.
Okay.
Is the universe or reality or any object bounded or unbounded? Can you prove it one way or another with logic, reason, mathematics, geometry? No, you can't. Can't be proven. Because you don't prove this using this hypothetical. If you go halfway to the boundary, and then another half, and then another half, and another half, you'll never reach it. This means that logically, movement is impossible. Okay? So you're asking me, we're talking about the entirety of existence. The Earth is the entirety of existence. There's nothing outside of it. There is no outside the entirety of existence. It's the entirety.
So the Earth is the entirety, the entirety of existence, yeah?
Yes.
But isn't the sun outside of this existence of the Earth?
Well, it's above the Earth, but it's not like outside it. Like the sun in the Earth isn't in a big void.
What?
The sun is inside.
The outer space. No, don't interrupt.
Sorry, I'm talking to Indio.
Troll, dude.
Relax.
No, Manufactorium's a fucking troll.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so outer space vacuum, as described, is impossible. Okay, so the Earth can't be in an outer space vacuum because we're breathing right now. And you can't, and since we're breathing, that necessitates gas pressure. And gas pressure necessitates a container. Right? It can't be in a void.
Okay, I'm trying to explain it to you in your language in terms of flat Earth.
My language.
No, what I mean by that,
dude, I'm speaking the language of physics, namely the second law of thermodynamics.
No. When I say language, what I'm saying is obviously the reason why we can breathe is because of the atmosphere. That's obvious, yeah, from my view.
Okay, what holds the atmosphere away from the vacuum of space?
I mean, that's irrelevant. What's that got to do with your point?
Because so pressurized gas goes to the low pressure area, right? So if you have a pressurized tire, you punch a hole in it, the gas all escapes until it reaches thermodynamic equilibrium with the air around it. Now, why isn't your atmosphere reaching thermodynamic equilibrium with the vacuum?
Okay, listen, let's go back to the main
point. Okay, repeat to me what I just said to you. Okay, because if you don't listen to me, I'll just mute you. What did I just say to you?
You just explained to me how the atmosphere is contained, and you use an example of a tire.
That's not what I said.
Okay,
that's not what I said at all.
Go ahead, explain it.
What I said was, if you have gas pressure, gas pressure goes from high to low, correct? Is that incorrect? Is that
That's correct. Yeah, that's
okay.
correct.
So the vacuum of space is low pressure, right?
Zero pressure, but yeah.
Okay, nearly zero pressure, right? So
Yeah.
the air is 15 psi at sea level, right?
I don't know, but I'm assuming you're correct. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so why doesn't the 15 psi air pressure go up into the zero air pressure?
I don't know.
Okay, well, because the only way you can have air pressure is with a container, because the pressure is defined by the force exerted on the walls of a container.
Okay.
Okay, so outer space vacuum, as you've been told, can't exist. It violates the second law of thermodynamics. That shit that you've seen with spaceships and all, just like Star Wars, it's all Star Wars. It's all TV show.
Okay.
No one's going to space in rockets. None of that shit is actually happening. It's a TV show.
Okay. So
it's hard to believe, but whatever.
No.
Look, you have a choice. Okay, just let me say one more thing. You have a choice. Believe that the second law of thermodynamics can't be violated, or the television is telling the truth. That's your choice.
Okay. Where is the sun exactly? Is it like outside?
I don't know. It's indeterminable. It's indeterminable because it can't be triangulated because there's no parallax to the sun, no matter how far apart you are on Earth.
Wait,
parallax means there'd be an angular shift. If there's two people viewing it from two different viewpoints, they would see what's called an angular shift. Okay, just like when if you alternate, hold your thumb out, extend your arm, stick up your thumb, and alternate opening your eyes, you'll see your thumb shift back and forth. If you know the distance between your eyes, you can calculate based upon the angle, but based upon how much it shifts, how far your thumb is away from your eyeballs. Okay, now you could get the distance of the sun with this method, except for when we actually do this in real life, there is no angular shift, meaning it's either nearly infinitely far away, or there's different physics in the celestial spaces.
Okay, so the answer to the question is
because I should say this: no objects that in the sky exhibit any of the properties of what you would view in a terrestrial setting, right? So they don't show parallax. You can't get the distance. You can't get the size. You can't get any of this stuff from looking at it. You have to come up with theories and hypotheses and suppositions and assumptions to even begin to even address those things.
Okay, but you still haven't answered the question. Though. I haven't got an answer.
What was the question? Where's the sun? I don't know. It doesn't. It's impossible. Nobody knows. It's not just me. It's nobody. You don't know. The people that claim they know don't know. They just they assumed something, right? So if they say we know the distance of the sun is 93 miles away because we watched Venus transit the sun and it took 2 minutes. Well, how far away is Venus? Well, we don't know. We'll just assume it's the size of Earth.
Okay.
This is exactly what was done. So the entire cosmic distance ladder is based upon assumption. Okay.
Fine. Okay.
The first assumption is that. But stop talking. So the first assumption is that Venus is the same size as Earth. Christian Huygens in the 16th century basically used numerology to get this. This is where this the distance of the sun comes from. Ain't that kind of strange? It's not me that says it, right? You can go on a website, a guy named Phil Platt. He's a NASA astronomer. He tells the history of the distance of the sun. This was the beginning of the quote-unquote distance measurements of the sun, was numerology. You would think these things are figured out by science. There's a lot of not science in this shit.
Okay, that's fine, but again, bro, like as I told you, you're doing a lot of derailing. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Okay, a lot of the stuff that you're saying, I haven't looked into with regards to like the size or like the distance of Venus. That's irrelevant. I'm not asking that. But if you want to talk about
Venus, is because that's where they got the distance of the sun from.
It's my turn, right? So just one
Yeah, but you said it's irrelevant, but that's not true because that's where they got the distance of the sun from. I said nobody knows. You said somebody knows, and I said okay. This is how they calculated the distance of the sun using Venus.
No, forget about the distance, bro. What I'm telling you.
Okay, now we don't care anymore. Okay.
No, I never
Say
asked that.
know.
I never asked that though.
The distance of the sun. You said where is it?
Yeah, not the distance. When I say where is it, I mean
how would I tell you where it is if I didn't know its distance?
No, you're saying the Earth has its own has its own existence. Yeah. So in terms of this existence that you're talking about, I want to know where the sun is. You're saying you don't know. That's fine. No problem. So is it the same?
Go outside when it's daytime tomorrow and see where the sun is. That's where it is.
Okay. Is it the same with Venus? Is it the same with the other planets that you're saying?
No, we can see all these celestial objects. That's where they are. If you want to know how far away they are from you, it's indeterminable because there's no parallax.
No.
You can make up a bunch of theories and hypotheses about why that is and come up with some ideas and some, like I said, if you had some assumptions, there's no starting point. You do understand this, that you can't look at something and know how far away it is, right? Or how big it is, right? By just looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so.
It's called the size-distance problem. You can't know the distance without knowing the size, and you can't know the size without knowing the distance. Right? So since this has always been the problem with looking in the sky, they can't solve that, right? So, but if they come up with an assumption and guess the distance to one of the objects, from that, they can derive all the other ones.
Okay.
By calculation.
Okay, look, okay. When I say where it is exactly, I don't mean the distance. I mean if it is in this existence of the Earth or if it's outside. Because you're saying that there's no vacuum or anything like that. It's all BS. So I'm saying, is it within the existence of the Earth or?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're saying you don't know. Fine, we end it there.
Nobody knows.
But my point.
I'm telling you, nobody knows. Anyone that says they know, they're lying.
Okay, that's not my question. I don't care. I want to know. I said I want to talk to you. That's fine. Now, when you're talking to Saphire, you said that the sun is moving around the Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah. Because we see it.
Okay, but how can you tell the difference between the Earth moving around the sun, or the Earth being still and the sun moving around the Earth, or both of them moving around each other? How can you tell?
Because you can try to measure the Earth's motion against absolute space, and there isn't any, namely the Michelson-Morley experiment.
Bro, I asked a question. You said a whole lot.
I just answered you. I answered it. How can we tell? We do an experiment to detect the motion of the Earth through space. It's called the Michelson-Morley experiment.
But there's no space.
The whole reason general relativity exists is because the Michelson-Morley experiment failed to detect the motion of the Earth.
Okay,
and Einstein said there's no optical experiment that can detect the motion of the Earth.
Number one, the whole of Einstein's theory is based on assuming that there is a vacuum. So I don't know why you're using that theory. Number two,
it isn't. You don't know anything about Einstein's theory. Don't even try it.
Bro, you're talking about...
You don't know anything.
You're talking about... Like what?
You don't know anything about the theory of general relativity, dude. Nothing.
Okay, no, that's not the point. The point is that Einstein's theory is
you're punching above your weight class.
It does not assume a vacuum, dude. A vacuum has nothing to do with it. Einstein's theory is a purely geometric about space-time, about the geometry of space. It has nothing to do with vacuum, not a vacuum, or anything like that.
Okay,
it is a mathematical formalism.
Okay, is space a vacuum? I want to know.
According to you, it is.
No. I'm asking you, is space a vacuum, yes or no?
What do you mean by space? Metrical space or outer space?
Okay, listen. Okay. The reason why I said
there is no outer space. What don't you understand? There's no outer space. You're not taking a fucking rocket to outer space.
Okay,
you're not landing on the moon. There's no land in the sky to land on.
Hey, calm down.
No, you're not listening, dude, and you're asking the same question you've already asked 4 times. There is no outer space, brother.
No, I'm not. I asked you, how do you know if the sun is moving around the Earth or vice versa?
The Michelson-Morley experiment.
Yes, I know. I'm going through what you just said. I'm going through it again. Okay, relax. I'm going through it.
What was the result of the Michelson? What was the Michelson-Morley experiment? What were they doing? What did they measure? What did they? They failed to detect the motion of the Earth. That was the point of the experiment.
I think you guys are being extremely
Do you
right
not
now.
understand
Cooper,
that? You said, how do I know the Earth is not moving? I just told you, the Michelson-Morley experiment. We see the sun move. We go, okay, maybe the Earth's moving instead. So we do an experiment to measure it. Oh, shit, it's not moving. That's how we know it's not moving. Because we did the experiment.
You run me through the experiment and how they came to that conclusion, tell me.
Okay, they had two beams, north-south beams, right? So they interfered them, and if the Earth was moving, they would measure a phase shift. Because one optical path would be longer than the other if the Earth was in motion, right? The north-south one is going perpendicular to the motion, and the east-west one is going with the motion. Okay? So it'll have a shorter optical path. Okay? Because the light doesn't have to travel as far, right? Because while the Earth is moving, the light is traveling, and they're all traveling together. Okay? So the north-south isn't doing that because the motion is lateral. So they interfere them, right? They interfere the phases and expected an interference pattern, a fringe shift. They did not observe a fringe shift. So what they say, Einstein had to say, well, the apparatus shrunk in the direction of the motion. The space-time compressed the device, squished it.
Okay, but you don't believe in space, though.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
I said space-time, dude. That's one word.
So space-time has nothing to do with space.
Space-time is a one word. It's a four-dimensional space-time in a pseudo-Riemannian geometry.
Okay.
Okay, you don't know what any of that is. It doesn't matter whether you know what it is or not, okay? The fact is, no one has ever measured the motion of the Earth. But we see the sun move. What should we do then? Should we keep believing that the Earth is in motion even though we see the sun move and all experiments fail to show the motion of the Earth? What should we do? You tell us. You keep believing the Earth's in motion. I don't care.
Okay, well, I mean, do you believe there are other planets? You do, right?
We see them, yeah.
Okay.
Whether they're terra firma, that's another question. Whether there's land in the sky you can shoot a rocket to and do backflips on, like I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So, and we know that there are like these objects or like satellites that
we know
orbit around.
How do we know this? How do we know this?
Oh, you can see them, right?
We can.
You can or you can't?
I'm asking you. You're the one who thinks you can.
Yeah, you can see with a telescope. You can see Jupiter.
Oh, really?
With a telescope, of course you
really?
can. Yeah, you can.
You can see a full orbit of the moons of Jupiter.
No. You could see objects orbiting Jupiter.
Objects? You mean lights?
No, objects. Lights, satellites mean moons. Moons.
Oh, it's satellites. I thought you meant like artificial satellites.
No.
Moons.
So
how do you know they're orbiting? How do you know they're orbiting Jupiter when all you see is them go across the face of Jupiter?
Because let's say, for example, day by day, if you see the position of let's call it a moon, for example.
What about the other side? What about the other side? How come we never see them on the other side?
Because I mean that doesn't make any sense. Like if I'm standing in front of you and there is Annabella standing behind you and I don't see her. Well,
yeah, but like right before it goes behind Jupiter, right? We never see it there. Like when it's about to go behind Jupiter, we never see it. We only see it go across, left to right. But we don't see it turn around and spin in the other direction and go behind Jupiter and disappear and then come out the other side. We don't see that.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like per day, like per night, for example, wherever when we see it, like during the time of the day, let's say 12 p.m. for example, every single day, we see Jupiter and its moon. If we see the moon, no. That's why I'm saying if we see the moon, if we see that position of the moon move per day, like moving. So say again.
And
yeah, so does that not mean that the moon is going around Jupiter?
No.
Why?
Because we don't see the moon going around Jupiter.
You're seeing the moon go around
You're
it.
seeing the moon transit Jupiter from left to right.
So
This
what does
isn't
that mean?
even a moon.
You don't see it go back in the other direction.
Okay, so your point is it's going left and right, it's not going behind? What's your point? I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Look,
Are you
that
saying
we
it's
don't
not?
observe in orbit. That's my point.
Okay, so to observe... Okay,
Do you know
how
that
do you
no human being has ever observed a full orbit of anything ever? Do you know that?
In what way?
Yeah,
What
because
do
it
you
takes a long time. It takes a long time. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, but science is empirical, and you don't get to just make
Yeah.
shit up. Yeah,
They
and it's
don't make
based
shit up
upon
though.
empirical.
If they observe,
So if
they're
it's not
observing the moon.
observed, you're
Wait,
making
can I
shit
finish?
up.
Can I finish? No, I'm not making shit
No.
up. If they're observed, yes, they observe Europa. They observe the other planets of Jupiter and Saturn, and they watch the moons go around those planets. They may not watch it the
that's a
entire
lie.
time. No, yes, it's not a lie
Yeah,
because
it
they're
is.
not watching.
Okay,
Can you please let me
post a
finish?
video
You're not
right
allowing me
now.
to finish. And I'm not posting a video. There's a
Okay, then you're muted. You're not going to come in here and steamroll us, motherfucker. Think again, wench. Oh, is that your girlfriend?
No, that's why she got muted last time.
Oh, the same thing? So she's a repeat offender.
No, she's not. She's not.
No,
Listen,
brother, that's an excellent pun. She's a repeat offender. She just keeps saying the same thing incessantly.
no, she's not. It's just when you guys say you want a respectful conversation, and then if she's talking and then you cut her off, she's gonna carry on talking.
Shut the fuck up. Okay? I'm warning you.
No.
She came in here and she interrupted our conversation, and you're talking about respectful conversation?
Yeah,
You kidding me?
the shut up.
Consensually for Miley Cyrus. She came in like a wrecking ball.
No, you're a fat bastard, bro. Like,
Bye.
you're just sitting there down the mic.
Bye.
No, you shut the fuck up, man. Like, you
I'm
talk about
banning you.
respectfulness. You're not respectful at all, bro. Like, you don't let people talk, and you
Bye.
derail so much.
Bye.
I get it.
No, like, you're an idiot, bro.
No, bye.
Don't preach respectfulness and then not do the same thing.
Bye.
I think you might have accidentally banned the wrong guy.
No, I banned the right person. I banned the girl.
Oh, Mark got it too.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't ban percentage.
Oh, shit.
Mayday.
No. Fucking white knight simp. Anyway, moving on to the next white knight simp. Hey, Sapphire.
Hi again.
Hey, Sapphire. How's it going?
What the heck?
Was that your girlfriend that came in here? She's awfully mad. You better give her a kiss.
Who's my girlfriend? Anyways, you talked a lot about my Michelson's thingy and the experiment. She did stuff. Okay, let me search it up. And the first thing I found out, you search up this Michelson's thingy, and in correlation to Earth's motion, is what I wrote in the chat right there. So I think maybe we should look out.
I don't need to look it up. I can look up what Michelson Michelson wrote himself. Is that they should have to conclude that the Earth is not in motion. He wrote that himself.
Yeah, and when did he write that?
The experimenter.
No, yeah, I know. But like, what year did he write that?
Who cares?
No, I'm saying he wrote it in the 19th century. And do you think that we have...
Who cares?
I'm only saying.
Okay, so you're not going to believe in gravity because fucking Newton was in the 1600s? Or the Archimedes principle because fucking Archimedes was in 300 BC? Stop it, dude. Make real arguments.
Show the subsequent experiment that makes Michelson wrong.
I'm saying...
It was a long time ago, so it's wrong.
I'm trying to say, but if you keep cutting me off, there's no reason. But I said there's no matter that he wrote in 1900. I'm saying that he was smart. Gravity was found way before the math has proven it, and it's still the same it is right now. I'm saying with this guy here, his theory, his experiment was real, and you make it the same. So like get the same result. But it's been found that the result he got does not mean that the Earth is not in motion.
Brother, you need to fix your internet. You've been roboting the entire time.
compared to the light of speed. Okay, compared to the light of speed, he said then that fails. But this is not just the light of
It's not
speed, this
getting
is like
better.
in general. And literally
Not
says
getting
right
better,
there,
dude.
it
You
does
need
not
it
mean
better than the
anything.
future.
Yo, your brummy internet is
The
failing
only
you.
thing I wanted.
You're roboting because you're brummy internet.
That might explain why he just keeps yapping while you're talking and he talks over. I think maybe that might be the reason if I'm generous. Should I give another chance? I'll give you another chance if you can freaking control your emotions. If you can't, I'll just mute you again. You can control your emotions. Harry, whatever your name is.
Oh, you're speaking to me. Oh, fuck, I'm
Yeah,
back again.
speaking
Wait, who? No, I'm not emotional. You just keep interrupting me and you don't let people speak. So, like, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. If I can't finish my point and you have to keep speaking over me, like, I don't know how we're going to get anywhere in a conversation. So, what do you want to talk about?
I just counted 11 sentences.
Because I speak a lot. I speak fast, though, so get over it. You'll be fine.
I thought you couldn't. I thought you weren't being allowed to speak, though.
You just fucking unmuted me. Are you not talking?
I just thought you weren't allowed to
bitch.
speak.
Mute me again. Mute me again, bitch. Do whatever you
I've
want.
said now
You want to have
4
a conversation or
sentences,
not?
and you said 15.
Who cares? What does that matter? Why? What?
Because
That's
you're
irrelevant
claiming
information.
that
Do you
you're
want to have a
being.
conversation or not?
You're claiming that you're being fucking muted, and you're not being allowed to speak, but you're speaking more than everybody else.
Are you
That's cap.
serious right now?
Yeah, I am serious right now. Your bullshit ain't gonna apply in here. Go to one of the other fucking VCs that don't know better. Okay?
She's so mad right now.
Nobody lets me speak while they're fucking saying 20 to 1 word count. Shut the fuck up.
I bet she's so mad right now.
Well,
God
to be
damn right,
honest,
I'm
all
muted,
she
Ben.
did
Peace,
earlier-
bitch.
All she did earlier was just chant like the status quo. Like, we know it's a globe, we know it's a globe, we know it's curved, we know it's curved, we know the distance to the sun, we know the distance to the sun. It's like if you wanted to know her opinion, just Google any mainstream opinion and you'd have it.
And you told her to calm down. I can't see what the issue is.
Well, she wasn't. She came in freaking hot, dude. She interrupted a conversation that I was having, and that caused that simp to fucking spiral out of here because he has to white knight for some freaking wench.
Hey, Indio, you remember that scene in the Zohan where they're negotiating with the bad guy to get, and they're like, could we get that one pee-pee touch? And he's like, maybe I let one of my wives give you the one pee-pee touch. That's what these guys are like.
Okay, so Saphire, we're gonna try this again. Hopefully your internet's better. Okay, Act 3, take 1.
Yup. Is it bad?
Okay.
Or is it okay?
Okay.
Is it alright?
So Einstein
Is my internet
said,
okay? I'm asking you guys.
yeah, so Einstein said it in a conference in Kyoto, Japan in 1947 that there's no optical experiment that can detect the motion of the Earth. Okay? That's how I know the Earth is not moving, because there's no experiment that can detect the Earth moving. And the burden of proof isn't on us. We see the sun move. That's the default position. If someone say the sun's actually not doing that and that is some sort of optical illusion, they need the evidence to prove it. Namely, measurements that the Earth is moving or something from outside the Earth showing it moving. That doesn't exist.
You're saying satellite images and satellite videos of the Earth rotating and moving is not proof?
No, they do not exist.
But it's okay. Indio.
Yeah.
I only wanted to say like before my internet cut out and stuff. Before my internet cut out and stuff, it was just you kept mentioning the Michelson-Morris experiment as being. Yes, you kept saying Morris guy. You know he is the real shit. He proved it. Boom, that's the done deal. And I just put it in chat that he did not with one Google search. I just want to say, guys, get a freaking life, okay?
Bro.
Run away.
You're just parroting something you don't understand. Okay? There was another guy that repeated Michelson. His name was Dayton. He did the same experiment 100,000 trials. 100,000 times. Okay? You're not, like, you don't know what you're talking about, Saphire.
What's the name of that guy?
He bounced anyway.
What's the name of the experiment that they did 100,000?
Dayton? I can't remember. Dayton Miller, I think.
Dayton Miller, we have a winner.
I'm not senile yet. Hooray!
I like how the one guy said, "Oh, I know about relativity," and then you're like, "Space time," and he's like, "What the heck? That's weird. I never heard of that."
Oh my God!
Indio called him out. He's like, "You don't know a single thing about general relativity."
No, he don't, man. Bro, like, I would never say that usually, but him, he don't know nothing, dude. He hasn't even watched a documentary on general relativity. He knows there's some Einstein and there's a word out there and that's called general relativity. That's the extent of his knowledge right there. There's a guy, there's a word, that's it.
He thought space-time was time that existed in space. He said space-time, he's like, but you don't believe in space.
Is that relativity speaking?
For measurement of Earth curvature, Saphire comes back with formula. The most basic formula for Earth's curvature is h equals d squared divided by 2 times r. No, it's a formula.
T-dub. T-dub. Paging T-dub.
Yo.
T-dub to the service desk. T-dub.
Yeah.
We have a lost child. Oh, yeah. So earlier what were you talking about? Were you saying Perplexity was complaining about the beam divergence?
Yeah.
What was it saying? It overlaps or something?
So I think the confusion was with the predictions, not the postdictions that you mentioned.
Oh.
So apparently their predictions were lesser than the results they got, like the divergence or the. I don't know if it's talking about.
I don't remember in the original paper any predictions.
Right.
So I'll post the original one. They didn't even do anything like that. They just did the experiment. They never even talked about what they thought it would do.
Right.
So let me see. They don't go over any modeling as far as the beam path. I mean, they do. This is kind of funny. I didn't notice this. Oh, fucking funny, bro. Hold on, let me post this. Let me post this screenshot. It's funny. This is from the paper, the screenshot. Apparently, the laser's going straight, man. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But they didn't really predict. They didn't actually like model the ray and what it would do. They just did like the elevation profile, right? Just says propagation path over 149.2 kilometers between laser beacon platform to the Earth's curvature. The minimum height along the propagation path is 275 meter, corresponds to a distance of 60 kilometers from the receiver site. Yosemite Mauna Lea, fine with his corresponding lasers. See, that's all they talk about. Like, how close is it to the ground? That's it. Basically saying we have a line of sight because, we have a line of sight because we're elevated. That's all it says. Whereas Bricker, let me pull up Bricker's. Analysis of joint effects of refraction and turbulence. So he was trying to come up with a characterization of both phenomenon simultaneously and like model it. And it says in his paper, for the 150 kilometer path simulated, the rays are misaligned by about 4 meters with respect to the 0.532 ohm ray. That's like 532 nanometer. This beam separation distance is significant because it is on the order of the diffraction limited beam footprint.
In other words, unaffected by assumed variables.
It just means that when he plugged it into the model, right, the beams, like their trajectory, like how they would get there, when they get to the other end, they're separated. Like this, I just posted a graphic in here. This is their beam separation. Distance between rays in meters. This separation is greater than the width of the telescope. So how did they pick them all up at once? This is because of dispersion, right? So each different wavelengths take different optical paths, right? Refraction is wavelength dependent. So one wavelength beam takes one path, one wavelength beam takes another spatial path, another wavelength beam takes another spatial path, and when they arrive 150 kilometers away, they're separated just like a prism. Just like a prism separates colors, the red's at one end, and 2 inches away is blue, right? Yep. That's an actual spatial separation.
Right, and that diagram there is his post-diction, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
They were closer together than what his after his
than what the
his
U.S.
retro.
standard at. Yeah, it's close. The beams are farther apart than possible to pick up in the 1976 U.S. standard atmosphere model, i.e., standard refraction. Now, I guess you could say there was less refraction than normal, subrefraction or something. So the more refraction, the more quote unquote refraction there's, the more they'll be separated. Right? That's the thing. Refraction and dispersion are intrinsically related. They're married to each other. So is absorption, quite honestly. Refraction, the way that this is why I get so irritated with the Globers, because what they say is so simplistic and simplified from the way like light actually behaves that it's silly. So let me show you. Let me see. Oh, check out this diagram. So this is known to happen. Okay, it's a known phenomenon, and they make something called a dispersion corrector to fix it. Okay. So this is called this is a chromatic aberration. See how you see blue on top, red on the bottom? The more refraction there is, the greater this hazing thing. So there's actually like a blue image here and a red image here. So what they do is with a dispersion corrector, there's a little mirror that combines the images. So it takes two images and you kind of like turn this thing and then it'll merge them together to make them clear. So I got an example of that too. Yeah, hold on. Well, that's not a good one. This good? No, that's sucky too.
Bro, in that game I've been playing, there's a boss called Chromatic Aberration.
See what happened? Sapphire says, "I love Jupiter. Wow!" And over the fences is like, "That's Saturn."
The most appropriate giving of a wheelchair emoji ever. So look at serious, man. Like totally like crazy dispersion, right? So I've asked Cobras, why don't we see this terrestrially? If there's this crazy refraction going on that's making horizons appear 30 miles farther and lifting, mountains up miles, why don't we ever see this effect? This blue-red effect, this dispersion? They have no answer. So this what should have been happening at the telescope. You take notice, right? Is that when they merge the image, Sirius is a dot. But when there's dispersion, the image of the stars looks bigger because you're basically getting a rainbow. You're turning the dot into a rainbow, and so it's spatially separated. Literally, the blue light is taking an optical path that's different from the red light. And it's arriving at the camera. The blue is higher than the red, and the green's like in the middle. So this should be observed. Anytime they say refraction, we should be seeing this. Especially when they say strong refraction. If they say strong refraction, you should be seeing this. But we don't see this, ever. So here's a great one. Even if they saw this, right? They could say, well, it was the lens, because you do have chromatic aberration that can be caused by a lens, depending on the lens thickness. And it actually is observed in lenses, normally. But you know what they make? They make apochromatic lenses. So inside the camera, it's dispersion corrected. So anything, whatever the colors are outside the camera accurately represents whatever way it's hitting the camera. The camera isn't doing it. Okay? So one of the long distance Canigou photos was taken with an apochromatic telescope. Right? So there's no way there can ever be any chromatic aberration from the camera itself. If there is any, it has to be out there in the scene, right? Whatever mountains are 275 miles away, has to be happening there. But we don't see any happening there. Okay, so there's no strong refraction or whatever they want to characterize it as. There's none of it happening out there in the world. because you would see this chromatic aberration. This is the death knell for the refraction claim. And I've talked about this before, but like, you know how we got to teach the goal where's the globe? This is like a nuance that like to teach like a normie, like it's actually not even that complicated because it's like when you first learn about light in school, they use a prism. And they teach you about a prism, how a prism makes a rainbow, and all that crap. But then when you show them this, they're like, suddenly they go brain dead, and they don't understand how a rainbow works anymore.
Who was it that accidentally, discovered the different temperatures of the refracted light sitting on his desk?
I don't know his name. What a lucky guy, though.
Yeah.
He just happened to put the prism next to a thermometer. Fucking crazy dude. I think that's the story, that he had a prism on his desk and was casting a rainbow on the desk, and like part of the rainbow that wasn't in the rainbow light that was right outside where the infrared would be, it made the freaking thermometer go up, and he noticed, and then he started doing experiments. Like, what a lucky guy, bro. I mean, most people would have never even noticed.
So basically, with the combat test, they shouldn't have seen the three lights at all.
Yeah,
but the aperture shouldn't have been able to pick it up.
Well, they could not all three at the same time. You should have maybe able to see two at the same time.
Right. And that's according to the modeling that he ran the data through after the experiment.
Yeah, standard refraction. Yes, yeah. He did it all after. He wasn't trying to prove any of that crap. This is just one of those things where he modeled it out and then it just didn't happen to match. I doubt they ever noticed. I mean, he did notice because he said it was beyond it. It's significant because it's beyond the diffraction limitation of the telescope. So he did notice something, but he never concluded, well, that refraction model, that's wrong. He never concluded that. Though some of the ray trace simulations, see that. Hold on a second. Yeah, though some of the ray trace simulations in that paper are pretty. That he has more involved ones, and that's why he actually abandons. He ends up trying 3 different ways to characterize it, and he abandons the refraction one because it was so wrong.
Right. He couldn't justify altering it to the degree needed to explain it.
Yeah. It was nowhere close. So he was like, okay, I'll try this other thing. I'll try I'm actually looking at it right now. He does go into mirages a little bit. Let me see. So he does a split-step method, free space propagation. So it's called a phase screen simulation of turbulence, meaning it's hard to describe. Where basically you alter the wavefront to get a direction and peaks and valleys and interference patterns. like kind of like measuring. Like, you ever seen a lake when it's raining, and like if you took one drop and dropped it in the water, you see a wave. You know, the waves propagate out from that raindrop. If it was a single drop, when it's lots of raindrops, right? If you look at the waves on the surface of the water, right, it's like a big freaking shimmering, bunch of constructive and destructive interference. So he tried to, like, a phase screen is kind of like that, like a 2D version of that the light passes through and then it gets altered. So he does like the ray tracing and then corrected by this phase screen randomness. Actually, there's a screenshot of it. I've got a screenshot.
And all this to just try and explain why the light just seemed to go straight.
They're trying to, no, they're trying to figure out turbulence, right? So they need to figure out turbulence because this is an Air Force study, right? They're trying to figure out how to create a laser beam to burn something out of the sky, right? And the turbulence fucks everything up. It actually dissipates the power so that it dissipates the focus. It's almost like you're trying to shoot the laser through frosted glass, right? That's probably like analogous over a long distance, right? You get so much turbulence in the wave model, the wavefront becomes so freaking nonsense because of turbulence. When I say turbulence, so there's pockets of air, some colder, some hotter, some denser, some moving, some not moving. So if you think of the wave model, right, so you have the wavefront that initially is spherically symmetrical, but as it propagates out and gets further and further away, it becomes like a potato of freaking a wavy mess, right? And then it doesn't focus. Because they're trying to burn shit out of the air. And you need a focused beam.
Need a collimated.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They need a collimated beam. So if you look at this one, this kind of shows it, right? So if you look at so you have the wavefront, right? And that little green thing, that center line, that's the centroid of the beam. That's where like most of the power is. It's focused in that center. And as you move along through the turbulence, right, that centroid gets distorted and wider and wider and wider. And now you have the power spread over a larger area. So now it's not intense. Now it's not as intense. It's all spread out, right? And they're trying to solve this problem that maybe they could use some adaptive optics or shoot a control beam to measure what the turbulence is, and then shoot the actual energy beam after it, right? Adjusted with adaptive optics.
Right, sort of like to clear the way.
Yeah, well, no. So the first beam is to measure what the turbulence is, right? So you shoot the beam, and then it bounces off the object, and then it reflects back, and you go, okay, there's that much turbulence in the optical path. We're going to shape the beam using what's called a spatial light modulator, and we're going to create a wavefront that, as it goes to the turbulence itself shapes the beam into a focused beam.
Right. Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, it's clever, but it don't work because the air doesn't not want to cooperate, man.
Right.
It's like trying to predict the weather, brother. You're not doing it. Like, you're gonna need freaking AI supercomputers or something. Maybe AI can do it someday, but like, because they would also have to do it so fast. You know what I mean? Because they got to they got to acquire a firing solution to acquire the target, and then shoot the control beam, and hopefully there's no countermeasures and like that the other side is using. It's like not an easy task, or they're just fucking around to try and get money, which is probably most likely the case.
So they probably figured out that they can blow shit up like that, or damage material over shorter distances, and they've like thought, oh, what if we could do this over longer distances?
Yeah, that's the idea. Is like, I mean, their goal is to shoot down ballistic missiles or something, but that ain't never gonna happen.
Right. Unless they're...
So Turkey said, I think they announced today
wars.
that they... I think Turkey announced today that they tested a laser that shot down a missile or something. But they didn't show any footage of it or whatever. They just claimed they did it. So this was his secondary model. This one right here. And then he did something called ray tracing and WART. WART is based on computation of laser beam wavefront tip and tilt, which is like a whole nother. It's like the phase stream attempt, but it's like uses a different underlying model. But like you have like, there's all sorts of freaking problems with that. So this is master's thesis or whatever, right? So he's basically like experimenting on. I want to show you some of the other stuff he has in here.
But did you
Some of
post
the ray
something?
tracing stuff. Yeah, I posted something in the chat. You didn't see that with the green arrows?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I got that.
No, I'm looking for what I'm going to post. Hold on.
Oh, right. Yep.
Okay, hold on. It's in here somewhere.
Dude, he ought to do the Mysterio trick. Pretends he has a laser that works, but really it's just a drone deployment system, and the drone is taking out the aircraft. But you sell the laser for $1 bajillion.
Ooh.
So this is like, he takes like the UN standard atmosphere model on the left, which is like idealized, and then he does a ray trace with a the US standard atmosphere model, and adds like a let me see, where is this? He adds optical ray propagation to stratified layers. It's like how I vertically layered trajectories. Of course. He added some. Basically says it. So he added like a stratified layer, so like a layer, and like you can see, like one of these graphics I didn't post it, but the light gets trapped in a duct, like a fiber optic cable almost. These are all just models and shit. I wouldn't put too much stock in them. I mean, you can model whatever you see what Bisman does. So you end up with this weird shit, right? The one on the left is pretty fucking weird. It ends up in this duct like a fiber optic cable. It's just like trapped in there. And then it says the rays launch from beneath the waveguide layer. Some of it goes up and it partially gets stuck. Some of the rays get stuck inside. Some just freaking do a right hook and fucking. That's why when they're like, it just, like when they say things like, it just curves around the earth to make it look flat. Like, it's so fucking silly, bro. So simplified and so silly.
And idealized, yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, the ideal is Earth's a globe and that looks flat. That's the ideal.
kind of reminds me of Apollo program to say, oh yeah, it was no problem. We just went through the Van Allen radiation belts. And meanwhile, like Orion project is like, we have to work out this problem before we can send people safely through this dangerous area, right? And they got all this sophisticated math on the board and shit. It's very complicated.
Yeah, there's a legend that if every flat Earth retard shuts up forever, the Earth will turn back into a ball.
You were waiting for. What makes you think that the Earth's a ball?
What makes you think it's not? Besides your stupid fucking nearsighted vision, that this seems to be the only thing you rely on.
Really? I mean,
Judging the state of things.
Besides the fact that water rests flat and level, I mean, besides the fact that liquids require a container and take whatever shape their container is, besides the fact that gas pressure requires a container, besides the fact that you can see well beyond where your ballpark horizon
Saturn's an illusion.
The flat and motionless Earth you experience is an illusion.
Yep.
If water always lays flat, how do you explain water droplets, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, you go ahead and put like 1 million of those water droplets in a big basin and see what happens.
Okay, now put 1 million of those basins in a giant planet and see what happens.
Yeah, water doesn't do that, but make the basin as big as you think the ball-tart Earth is.
You just said it was flat.
Still not gonna curve.
You just said it was flat.
Water doesn't curve. Large bodies of water do not curve.
It literally curves. Oh no, on your scale. No, so you see, on the scale that
large bodies of water. Look, here you go. Here's a large body of water. There you go. Look at that. Check that out. Salt flats, about 3 inches of water. Mirror flat, bud.
Hey, why aren't rocks flat? Shouldn't rocks be discs by your logic?
What the fuck?
Huh? Why are rocks?
That's a retarded question. That's a retarded question.
You think meteors hit the Earth?
Hey, what shape is a rock, bro? What shape is a rock? 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 Yeah, exactly.
Like every other flat Earth retard. There you go.
What shape is a rock, dummy?
Work out. I don't know. They're all types of shapes, right?
Okay, there you go. All right, good, cool, awesome. Then that was, like I said, you had a retarded question.
Right. Yeah, but planets aren't all types of shapes, though, right? Like they tend to.
So you're looking up at the sky and you see what look like balls in the sky, and you assume you're standing on a ball. That's no different than looking up in the sky and seeing birds in the sky and assuming you're standing on a bird.
I'll let that speak for itself.
You don't have a response. The logic follows.
How do you respond to that? Your logic is retarded, right? That's why flat earthers are so mercilessly ridiculed. Because if you actually get down to it, you
measures the curvature? There you go. So my question is, who measured Earth curve?
Right. So there's no flat Earth scientists, right? Well,
Wow. Okay, so who measured Earth curve?
What is a flat earther engineered ever?
So who? You can't do it. Oh, buddy, you can't answer questions. Who measured Earth curve?
Cooked by a woman.
You can't make and you want to answer questions? Come on.
Did you?
You're so
did
powerful.
You answer, did you? Did you
I'll
measure
answer your question.
the Earth
Will you
curve?
answer my question? Will you answer my
You
question?
didn't. You no. You haven't
You asked
answered.
what flat earther engineer Archimedes.
Yeah.
Checkmate. So
Yeah,
shut
you
up.
have to go back 3,000 years. Nice job, dude.
So
come on, you guys aren't serious. Yeah, I don't. You see, that's the thing. Like, people would take you more seriously.
Oh my God, it's 3,000 years. Does the Archimedes principle still hold, or was he wrong?
No, Archimedes still holds up.
Some things he was wrong about, and some things he was right about. Right? He probably
whatever you do.
A single thing Archimedes was wrong about. A single thing.
Well, he didn't know the nature of atoms. He didn't know like the true nature of gravity, or
Tell us about the nature of atoms. What is the nature of atoms? Atoms don't exist.
Okay, here we go. Here's another fucking.
Okay, so I'm going to prove it because atom means something that's indivisible. Are atoms indivisible in the modern conception?
Like, you guys are on the cutting edge.
Are atoms not indivisible?
You should have.
Are atoms indivisible?
Space companies.
Are atoms indivisible? Are atoms indivisible?
Calm down, dude. You don't have to repeat yourself. Calm down.
Okay, well, answer the question. Are atoms indivisible?
What do you mean? I mean, they're made up of other,
Atom means something that's indivisible. That's how they thought of them back then. That's where the word comes from. It comes from the ideas of Epicurus. If you knew anything, you would know that.
Right.
Atoms don't exist as conceived by Epicurus, and everybody. You're just blabbing, bro. You're blabbing nonsense. You don't know anything.
No, our knowledge of science evolves over time, and you're just too retarded to understand it. So you talk about
but atoms don't exist.
As if it's some sort of like hot new topic that you're educated on and no one else understands.
Yeah, but they don't exist, brother.
Yeah, Epicurean atoms don't exist, but we have a modern conception of an atom. Yes, we do. Right?
Is it indivisible?
Yeah, but you see what you're doing. You're doing like a semantic thing.
It's indivisible. It's not semantics.
The definition of atom has changed from 3,000 years ago.
What's the modern definition?
Our conception of what an atom is changed.
Ours. He says ours.
Years.
There's no R's, bro. There's no R's. You have no conception of an atom. You were told some bullshit, and you're just like, okay, sir.
Yeah.
What is the modern?
You weren't told bullshit.
What is the modern definition of an atom then? What is the modern definition of an atom then?
Well, the more basic.
Educate us.
The more basic one is you have like the electron cloud model, where you have like you have protons, neutrons, and then
like the Bohr model.
Neutron. It's like even an evolution of the Bohr model, right? The Bohr model is not an electron cloud probabilistic model, right?
So it's not correct.
It's not. It's less rigorous. It's less. It approximates the atom worse than our like more updated models.
Pretty wishy-washy, brother.
No, it's not wishy-washy.
And you just said 5 seconds ago as if it was on high, some sacred cow that atoms exist, bro, and you don't even have a fucking conception of what an atom even is.
I just told you what it is.
Well, you told me that was an approximation. So what is it? What's the ontology of an atom?
I mean, if you're asking what the smallest particles in the known universe are, I don't know that, right? That's a question that people are trying to answer, right? I don't know.
So
I don't know.
When we get the smallest particle, that will
be your arrogance. Why are you so arrogant?
That will be because you're a dipshit.
Oh, okay. So
you're a Dunning-Kruger pretender clown. You're a Dunning-Kruger pretender clown.
Yeah.
Pretender.
Is that how you? Is that what makes you feel big?
No, it has nothing to do with the feelings. It's called expose.
On the internet? Yeah.
Expose, dude.
Since you're so smart, explain to us your best understanding of what science is.
Science is a systematic study of the natural world and the things in it.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay. Great. What's an atom?
It's an indivisible fucking unit of matter.
Right, but how do we conceptualize atoms today in the modern?
Well, it depends. There's a bunch of models.
Right,
that are used for different purposes.
What is our best one?
So you're going to answer the question you asked me.
What do I have
So
to
you're going to
ask
answer the question you asked
that
me
you
and not let
asked?
me answer the question you asked me. Again, dude.
You asked the question. You asked the question. I provided you with a workable answer, and then you called me.
No, I was answering the question. I was answering the question. I'm going to continue to answer the question because I'm going to mute you the way you're muting me by talking over me. Okay?
You're a clown.
So you asked me a question. What is an atom? Okay, I'm going to tell you.
You're an asshole and a clown.
Is an individual unit of matter. And then you said there's models. Yeah, great. There's a bunch of models, and they're used pragmatically for different purposes. In one application, we use one model. In another application, we use another model. In another application, we use another type of model. Okay?
That's not how that works. No, that's not.
That is how that works.
He wants to talk about science.
Okay, in chemistry, we use a model of the atom that's different than physics, right?
Yeah, but
there's no science needed.
And then we also use a different that would be general physics, right? So like fundamental
those are not
physics.
different models. Those are different.
Yes, they are. There's no crossover.
It's an abstraction.
There's no. It's an abstraction.
It's an abstraction.
So it exists. Do abstractions exist then?
Yes, conceptually.
You destroyed yourself, dude. This is why I say you're a Dunning-Kruger pretender clown. You started this with atoms as if they are some fucking fundamental thing that everyone knows about, and now you're saying they're abstractions.
No. I'm saying our understanding of them, right? Our model. It's not our modeling. It's that our. Dude, you see, this is what it's like talking. You see, I
what nuance?
This is obfuscation from the ground anyway.
People go through the actual effort of education.
This is why, you're doing meta because you have nothing.
Yeah, this is an obfuscation from the ground. Now, there's no science needed. Hold on, Dan.
Now you're going to meta the meta.
Courtroom.
There is
now you're metaing the meta. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
y'all are clowns, man. You try to come in here and shit on us, dude. Flat earthers this and flat earthers that. You're the dumbest person in this chat.
Yeah. That's why, I like that it's like only like two of you, right? Like the rest of these people are just muted, right? They're probably, who knows where they are.
Well, do you want 30 people to talk at once?
It's just funny that you're so rude, right? I didn't insult you until,
Why you gotta be so rude?
You came in saying retard flat earthers, so yeah, you kind of like came in being insulting, so don't even play that shit.
And the whole thing about it is you want to try and lean over
water.
Hold on,
you said that water always lies flat.
Yeah, listen.
And
you
I showed him water drops.
Science. You want to talk about science. You want to talk about science. You want to talk about science.
That's a red herring. We're not talking about water drops.
You're not understanding that there's no science required for measuring to see if something is a shape.
Of course there is.
No, there's not. You're doing geometry. You're making a category error if you want to say that a globe Earth is proven by science.
Yeah, but how do you figure out the shape of something that's too far away for you to see with your naked eye?
You mean you can't measure? You can't measure the surface? You can't do tests to measure the surface?
I don't know. Can you? I mean, you're telling you're the one who's denying. You're the one who's denying the.
No. We can and we do.
Meta. Back to the fucking person.
We can and we do measure.
No, you can't respond.
I can't respond. You're right. Because
you're damn right. You're not responding with that. Okay, you're not going to respond about you do this and you do that. You're going to address what she said.
He said, "I don't know. Can you measure it?"
And I said, yes, we can, and we do all the time.
And then he started talking about you.
It's not measuring to be curved.
Oh, he's
gone. Then he started talking about you. You guys say everything is fake.
Yeah, super meta. If it starts with you guys, like it's already a flop. It's already lost.
Or you flat earthers or anything like that.
Yeah, he came in saying something about you retard flat earthers, and then wanted to be like, I never insulted you. Okay.
It was like the guy earlier saying I was rude to that girl that came in and freaking interrupted a conversation and fucking spazzed out. But I was rude.
You actually were pretty rude, but yeah.
She interrupted the conversation and spazzed out.
Yeah, but it's because you kept interrupting her before that.
Saphire.
It doesn't matter. What do you mean I was interrupting her? She interrupted our conversation. I can't interrupt her.
No, but the thing is, she was supplying to me, like she was interrupting me.
She's not gonna fuck you, dude. No matter how much you white knight for her.
See, I was being nice. I've always been nice to you guys because I don't see any reason in like being completely rude for no reason. But yeah, all I want to say is like she literally said something in compliance to what I said, and then your favorite thing to say is just from you. Hi, Jenna.
Please. Hi, can we please move on from that? It was like an hour ago. We're trying
but he just brought it up again. That's why.
It's okay. It's fine. Forgive it. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, but I'm over
Let
it.
it
Just he brought it up, so I had to say something.
Then be over it. Be over it.
All right, great. Now, Saphire, hold on, Jenna. Now, Saphire, you can apologize for insinuating that we don't have lives on your way out, Mister. I've never been rude.
Oh no, I won't do that because you literally were so rude to my friends. I heard what you said about her. You said this slag and stuff like that. So that was really rude. So that's why I said something about the live thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Indio said something. I don't think I was here or something, but you started talking about her, said something about that slag of a girl. So that's why I said something rude back.
All right, can we move on from it? Are we over it yet? Have we gotten over our feelings? Okay. So, who measured Earth curve? I saw you said Eratosthenes in the chat, but actually he didn't measure anything. He took an elevation angle to the sun, and in order to get an angle, you need a flat baseline. Period. He assumed that the light from the sun was parallel, hitting the Earth, and from that he then assumed that Earth is a globe. And then from his shadow lengths, right? That's where it all came apart. So it's all assumptions. That's all it comes down to. But in reality, light spreads out in all directions, which would mean that his elevation angles, his shadow lengths, would work just fine on a flat Earth. So yeah, the more you know. Also, I can't really trust it, right? Like, did this guy even exist? Was he made up? I don't know. There's like 3 different stories. There's something about like there was a building here in Alexandria and a building here in Syene, and then it's sticks and shadows, and then it's shadows in a well. So when the story changes that many times, I have a tendency to reject it.
That's fair. Fair enough. Like the Earth curvature, alrighty. What's it called? The thing rolling my putting in the chat about the experiment. I think we should also talk about that because no, you weren't here earlier, but we were talking about the Morris experiment, and it was basically being like, oh, this is like a keystone in it, but no one has addressed what Rowling wrote about how it was basically debunked by the same guy a few years later because he got more clever, you know?
What was debunked by what?
Let me.
Like, has anybody measured curvature then? So in any of this,
about
anybody measured
anymore.
curvature?
Now I'm speaking about what's it called? The
anything but curvature. Yeah, that's what Boulder does. Actually, Boulder claims that air against airplane wings is his proof of gas pressure without a container. That's absolutely ridiculous. So nobody's measured a curve yet?
Can I ask something? Just like really quickly. Why is it that every time I go over to something a little bit different, you always go back to the curvature? What if I say that is true?
I'll tell you why. It is the number. Oh, let me tell you why. Because a ball, a sphere, a globe has curvature. That is the number one and only qualifier needed to prove that Earth is a globe.
All right.
Right?
Because I did put stuff in the chat, but I think we will never agree on that. So I'm just going on by other things that we might be able to like.
On that. What do you mean? Wait. So you don't agree?
I did put a lot of stuff. Like we keep
That's
too bad.
Would
what do you say?
Require curvature. A sphere would require curvature. If you don't
Yeah.
If you're not measuring, you're not able to measure any curvature. You can't detect any curvature. You don't experience curvature.
What if you can observe curvature from outer space?
Then you don't have the one and only. You don't have the one and only
You can't.
qualifier necessary for proving that
But
Earth is a
NASA can.
globe.
Oh, that's just a story you
That
believe.
is true.
That's
No, they
just a
cannot.
story,
That's a
bro.
story that you believe in.
Okay. Following. You're right because what I learned before earlier was you guys like to see what you can observe yourself, and I said curvature. If we cannot agree on like a mathematical formula for it, I said NASA. If you go to outer space, you can observe curvature from outer space, and then you
Nope.
said I can't do that
No, you
exactly, and that's why I'm saying that we will never agree on it because what I'm saying this
No,
is my
not
proof.
even
You say this is
NASA. Not even NASA. The people that are able to go up 60, 70, 80 miles above the Earth, they're not seeing curve with their own eyes either. The curve that you see is coming through a wide angle and a fisheye lens. That's it.
So you're saying it's the lens that makes the curvature? That's,
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. I agree on it because where I'm saying this is clear-cut evidence, you guys are saying no, it's not. And that's why I'm saying curvature we cannot agree on. But the other stuff, because I remember I talked a lot with Indio about, for example, seasons, and then he said, "Oh yeah, it's because Earth is flat, and then the sun is like stays above it, but we don't know exactly where it is, and then seasons are created because of that." And I said, "All right, fair enough, but what about?" He said, "There's no motion."
You need to turn around and explain to us how in the hell seasons are possible on a globe.
But the thing
how
is,
come
it comes
Antarctica
back
never
to
thaws out?
I say, Earth is round, Earth is there, and then we go back to square one again. But the thing is,
we go to square one if there's no measurable curvature. It's the only thing. Nothing else matters. Nothing freaking else matters in proving that Earth is a globe except for measuring curve.
I'm saying it was measured. You like, by who? And then I put it in the chat again, and then it wasn't. Like we will never agree on that.
You said it was. I saw what you posted. It was Aristophanes, and I already explained how you're wrong. I explained how Aristophanes is wrong. How there's like 3 different stories surrounding that guy, and how he assumed that the light from the sun is parallel when it spreads out in all directions. I already went over this.
True. But then you also said you weren't even sure the guy existed, and then I said, all right. See, again, then we come down to a whole other different topic because how do you know a person existed? And then it comes through mass transmission, and then we go to another topic again. So I'm saying we can never agree on that sense. But what we can talk about was the Morris
This is
experiment.
Meta. Stop. You're talking meta shit. I don't want to hear the meta shit. I want
Wait, what is meta? So I don't know. So I know what not to talk.
Stay on topic. Stay with the subject. Have you ever measured Earth curvature? No,
I
already
haven't
explained
personally myself.
I already explained how Aristophanes didn't either.
Sorry, Janet.
Yeah, but I'm saying. Oh, sorry, my guy. If you said something, you said that guy. You debunked him. You said that guy. There was a lot of stories about him. You said something about the sun and how he didn't do it. But then something you also said that stuck out was there was a lot of stories about this guy, and it did not really make sense. And then you said something about maybe he doesn't even exist.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he existed or not. Right? The methodology for the methodology for the methodology that was employed, right, to indicate that the Earth has a circumference value, right? You'd need other things to be true in the first instance, like what was already mentioned.
Yeah, but I'm saying
wait a sec. For instance, the sunlight being parallel and the Earth being a sphere in the first instance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so you got to prove the Earth's a sphere first.
To prove his thingy, but that's like a paradox then, because what comes first? That the Earth to prove
he
that
wasn't
the Earth
trying to
is
prove that the Earth is a globe, bro. He already thought it was, and what he was doing, he thought because the Earth is a globe, I can use this method and calculate its circumference. Got it?
Yeah, by already thinking Earth's a globe, he assumed that the sun,
I still think
that the light from the sun parallel.
I actually came in again to talk about, basically to get Indio to talk about the Morris experiment one more time, because we've been over this a lot, and I'm not interested in going over it again. The Morris experiment, because It was Michelson-Morley's
The
experiment.
Michelson-Morley?
Yeah, it's because he specifically told. So I wanted him to take a standpoint out of what Boulder specifically was saying. That's the only reason why I came in here, because I've already had this talk about circumference a lot, like hours ago, and I don't want to have it again. The only thing I wanted him to look at what Boulder wrote about what Morris said and how it contradicts himself, and also the thing is, what's it called, the sets of quotes that you guys keep sending. Boulder has been really nice and done his homework, and the Morris experiment is irrelevant. Because my biggest
it's
argument,
irrelevant if you can't even find the curvature of the Earth in the first place. You don't experience it. You don't detect it. You can't measure it, right? And you need to have a ball so that you can have your spin, right? And you don't have a ball, so you don't have spin. So it doesn't.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's just about motion. Yeah, it's just about motion. So the experiment could be about spin, but that one in particular wasn't necessarily about spin. It's about motion through free space. So the curvature of the Earth wouldn't be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
kid.
wanted to talk about
Yeah, we got you. Do me a favor. Try not to interrupt people, okay? Gets old.
But the thing is, you weren't even in the conversation to begin with. That's all I wanted to say. I was having a conversation with Jenna.
I agree. You know what the difference? You know what the problem is, kid? I'm the boss. Okay?
Fine.
Thanks.
I didn't hear what you said there. All I said was, how can I interrupt the conversation?
Oh my goodness. Listen, Saphire. Why don't you do us a favor and read the conversation that was written so everybody listening will know what context you're talking about. That way we can progress. So read Boulder's, find Boulder's thing and read it for us. Thanks.
It's fine. I'll go up and chat. Okay. Yeah. But the thing is, Indio is not even here, and he was the one that talked about it the most. Let me find it again. I have to go a little bit up.
Dude, how do you know he's not listening? Maybe
but then why is he not speaking? Okay, this one, I put it in the chat again. You can see it because we talked about motion, and I really like what Indio was saying about I like it, but it was interesting to hear about how he saw like seasons and day and night and the motion of that. That's the only reason why I wanted to talk about this, because he mentioned this experiment and I didn't know about it, so I read about it, and now Boulder wrote more about it, so I wanted to talk about that too. Because for me, it's not just about Earth is round, it's also more about where Earth is centered. Earth's rotation. Does it actually rotate? Does the sun orbit the Earth, or does the Earth orbit the sun? That's what I wanted to know. And
you need to have
I wanted Indio for that. That's the thing. So that's why Roland, my Boulder, put this in the chat, and then no one ever took a standpoint on this, and I wanted to hear a stand on that. That's like why I came in again.
Holy crap. All right, Saphire. Thanks for wasting my time. What I asked you to do was read the comment.
Why should I read it when I put it in the chat so people can read it?
All right, dude. All right, kid. All right, get muted. I'm going to explain it to you. You asked. Okay, pay attention. Not everyone in the chat has access to the text chat right now. So all you did that entire time you were talking was just tell people who aren't looking at the text chat about what you're going to not talk about. So nobody learned anything from what you said. So for the love of God, why don't you just read the relevant comment and help everybody out? Yeah, go on mute. Go on, deafened. Good grief. Play these freaking games. Let's see if he's playing deafened.
Sorry, my bad.
Saphire.
I want to speak to Jenna.
Saphire. I don't care. You go on deafen when you're muted, you're going to get banned. That's the rules here. Do you understand?
Don't deafen yourself, Saphire. You're going to get yourself banned.
No, you could do it.
I wanted to do this respectfully, but this guy is just being condescending.
Okay, I'm going to explain the rules to you, bro. Yep. Okay, I'm going to unmute you and tell you you're banned.
He's deafened.
Hello, how y'all doing today?
I was trying to teach a petulant child how to be relevant instead of wasting everybody's time.
Explain rules, go on.
Yeah, Saphire. Pay attention. If you deafen yourself when you're muted, you're going to get banned. Do you understand? Yes or no?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
no. Pay attention now. Hold on, friend. Hold on. What I wanted to tell you, Saphire, is that you spent a lot of words not talking about the topic, and not everyone can see the text chat. So I asked you to do everyone listening, who's listening, a favor and just read the relevant comment. Rather than read the comment, you did all this narrative about who you want to talk to and this and that. So you basically screwed all your friends who are listening. Okay? So that's what we wasted our time on, dude. That's why I just asked you, can you read the comment? Why was so hard about that? Do you not understand that? Do you not want to participate unless it's your way?
Okay. Can I speak now?
Go ahead.
I'll short circuit this and I'll read the thing for you since I'm the one that wrote it.
Oh, anyway. Finally! For love of God,
can I say something
Thank
really?
you.
Am I the only one that can tell this guy sounds so condescending? But that's
no, I am condescending. I don't sound condescending. I'm intentionally being condescending.
You're gonna get used to it. You have to get used to it. They're all retards, respectfully.
So there was a list of quotes. One was from 1881 by Michelson that said this conclusion directly contradicts the explanation which presupposes that the Earth moves. And so I dug into that, and well, like I said, it was from 1881, and so then I wrote, it turns out that Michelson didn't stop with your cherry-picked quote. About 20 years later, he did another experiment trying to detect the rotation of the Earth, this time succeeding. In 1925, he writes, displacement of the fringes due to Earth's rotation was measured on many different days. So by 1925, he certainly knew terrestrial measurements could detect Earth's rotation regardless of what he thought in 1887.
What is the reason that you want the Earth to be flat? Why does that matter? What does anybody gain by the Earth being flat? Anybody.
Well, the Earth isn't flat.
Yeah, Saphire and AI and Jenna were talking, and they got a little bit into meta.
Yeah, a little bit heated.
So, yeah, can you let them respond now that the quote has been read and see what they're talking about?
Yeah, I would love for AI to justify his stupid belief.
Oh wait, don't go there because then we have to do the curvature over again. I wanted this one. He read it out loud, and all that was to say was one was the quote that was just a lot of them were just false, and he claimed that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I also have a clip of Indio saying, what's it called? Equations, don't matter when proving, the Earth's curvature, even though most.
We had a discussion about math and why, math is so important to this.
Yeah,
that also went for that.
Indio, right, an active supporter of the flat Earth theory, right, said that equations don't matter at all on clip. I have the clip. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, but why would you listen to that? That sounds like dumb bullshit.
Well, but he's one of the main people in here that advocate for the flat Earth movement. So let me show you the clip.
He's the leader.
Equations. He's correct. No, he's not the leader, but in some regards, equations don't matter if your inputs are incorrect. So if your assumptions and your inputs are incorrect,
but he didn't say that. He said equations don't matter at all.
Hey, listen. Listen. If you got that and you want to prove that that's completely true and irrespective of greater context, then I guess you'd have to play it, wouldn't you?
Okay, but AI, look at the clip and hear him say equations do not matter in any context, right? So, meaning that 90% of your evidence for the flat Earth theory is gone, sir. According to him. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Did you post it? Did you
Yeah,
post
look
it?
in the chat, please.
Okay, so it's actually a clip, so that's good. Hey, listen, good job getting an actual clip. That way you can immediately go and see the greater context. I approve. All right, I'm going to go on mute now.
Yeah,
okay,
please.
So, Boulder, I want to say thank you for finding the obvious wrongs in what they were writing. Because one thing I realized also, this is just fact for everyone, is that especially Indio, he likes to reference a lot of big experiments, a lot of big words that he knows people would not necessarily know unless they search it up themselves. So in the heat of the moment, like in the argument, you would not have an answer because I've never heard of the Morris experiment. But as soon as you actually search it up, you found so many like debunks of it. And now that we have found debunks of this experiment and that he actually did say that it's motion, no one is going to say anything about not motion. And if there so is motion, then that would mean that a lot of the things you said about seasons and stuff like that wouldn't even make sense anymore, because it was based on Earth is still and like the sun is also like moving above it. I don't even know what you guys believe anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to say that a lot of the stuff you've said has been debunked, and you always tend to circle back to the curvature, and we can never agree on the curvature because you guys don't believe in NASA. So what are we going to do? All equations, all math.
Even NASA knows it's flat.
See, so that's the thing. We can never agree on the curvature. But what we can find out is what you guys are saying, we can find holes in that. That's the best thing we can do because that's the only factual evidence we have. So if you say a quote from some guy in something like 1965, but the guy died in 80 something, that's what we can get. So we can ruin your credibility because we can never agree on actual factual things.
NASA doesn't believe in NASA.
At the end of the day,
statement.
What's the statement? Who benefits from the Earth being flat?
Actually, I want to have that answer too, just like in general. Why? So, what's the benefits of the Earth being flat? Basically?
What's the argument? Yeah, why would they lie, and who's lying about it being round? Why?
Oh, that's a different question.
Does anyone get anything out of that?
Yeah, evil people. There you go.
Wait, that's so general. If you can point to one guy,
I just want to say,
I don't need to know. I don't need to know specifics. I don't need to know specifics.
I'm happy you guys are here. Oh, guys, can I say to all the
it's like asking when you ask why would they lie?
That's like,
hold on, that's like asking, right, for motive. Even though I've got plenty of evidence that this guy committed the murder, you still want the motive, and you don't even care.
Earth being round versus flat, though, it's a giant thing that we can see from space, and like we have satellites, right? Like satellites feed our television, right?
Who the fuck cares why they would lie? The point is, they fucking lie, and they've been caught lying.
Yeah, that's
who's they?
Oh my god! Satellites
NASA
feed televisions, therefore something. I don't know what the heck that was about.
They're far enough away from the Earth that we have images
can
from
I say
them.
something really quick?
Yeah.
Binips, the thing is, I've been trying to say this all the time, but one of the core factors where we disagree is the fact that they don't believe NASA and the pictures they take. So how can we say you don't believe in something so factual, something we believe?
What about your Fox News? Yeah, what about your guys' Fox News? You believe that crap? I mean, it's coming from space, right? Direct TV, shooting right down at your house. They launch satellites up there. We have the imagery.
You sound crazy. I
sound crazy.
Yeah.
Guys, can I just speak to Ari really quickly?
We go to space. When did you go there?
I mean,
when we say we mean the people, by the way.
Oh, so you're one of them. When did you go there?
Humanity.
You mean people as in people, humanity. Can I just say one thing to Ari? Earlier, it was me and Ari, guys. We got absolutely abused.
Imaginary location.
Guys, I just want to say to all my round earthers, we got absolutely abused last time. We got muted, we got thingies, we couldn't say a word in.
Oh yeah,
no, I totally believe.
No, I'm just saying it right now because I'm so happy because we actually can talk.
Oh yeah. Anyways, are you guys flat earthers?
Yeah.
Okay, you realize it's already been debunked. Oh, enlighten us. Well, we have photos. Photos from space.
Okay, cool. So let me ask this question. I'll accept your photos from space when you name me the scientific journal that accepts photos as prima facie evidence of a proposition.
Can you simplify that?
No, I'm asking you to supply a scientific journal that will accept photographs as prima facie evidence.
I don't have a scientific journal that does that.
No, nobody does, dude. Nobody accepts photos as prima facie proof alone of a proposition, dude.
I don't know what to say here.
You need corroborating evidence.
Good. I like that. Wait? So then, you think the moon landing was fake?
How'd you get that from
Let me put it this way, friend. I know, right?
Well, because
a good
the moon.
baby.
Wait, hold on. Why would the moon be round and the Earth flat?
Oh no.
I'll put it to you like this: Earth, not moon. Moon, not Earth. Different.
So every single planet is a circle except for Earth?
Every single thing that's not the Earth is not the Earth. I agree with you.
I think that statement speaks for itself, but I don't know.
I know, doesn't it? So what you're faced with is that your thought, while not unreasonable, isn't logically coherent, if that makes sense. So it's not unreasonable to think what you thought. Don't get me wrong. I'm not belittling you in any way, but it's just not logical.
It's not logical to assume that the Earth would be round since every other planet in the space is round.
It's not logical to assume it could be. Sorry, it could be logical to assume it could be. It's not logical to assume it has to be. However, coulds and shoulds and woulds are kind of those things that have to materialize before they become true. Do you agree? Holy crap.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how to even debate. I don't know how to even debate this.
Fair point. So let me ask this question, dude. Do you think that the proposition of whether the Earth is a globe or not is more relevant to be answered by the structure of the Earth itself or by things that aren't the Earth? Which one do you think is the better way to go?
I think when you put it like that, the Earth, but that doesn't debunk the argument I made at all. That's not even like.
But you never made an argument, though.
Well, I did. I made the argument. The argument I made was because every other planet in space is round. It's extremely reasonable to suspect that the Earth would be round.
Yes, right. And so I would agree with you. To suspect that the Earth is round, now we must validate that the Earth is round. So we have to take it from I think so to it is so. And that is where we run into a problem. And because that is that when you measure the surface of the Earth, it turns out that the waters of the Earth are level and arranged horizontally because they don't have curvature on the surface. And that means that the entire benchmark of the known territory is from a horizontal baseline, which means it's flat.
Okay.
Dude, are you building a house?
Who, me? What's going on?
No, he's searching for his keys in the closet or something. I don't know. There's a lot of background noise. What we're trying to say.
Oh, sorry. I'm like moving around a lot because I'm like.
That's all right, bro.
I'm walking right now. So, anyways, I don't know, dude. I don't even know. It's just from my perspective, right? I don't know if you kind of can understand this, but from my perspective, this seems just so radical. Like it's just something so like out of the world, kind of a. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Let me ask this question, brother. Do you think we were born believing in the flat Earth and that we've been flat Earthers our entire lives, or do you rather think that we actually grew up being taught the globe, believing in the globe, imagining all the things about the globe our whole lives, and then we were faced with a challenge for whatever reason where we had to investigate whether we knew it or not, and then we came to a different conclusion? Which do you think is what happened to us?
The second one for sure.
Correct. So that means that we were in your position before. We believed in the globe. We thought the idea that the Earth was flat was a radical idea almost our whole lives until the point where we challenged it, investigated it, and came to a different conclusion. And the reason why majority of us came to that conclusion is because there's no demonstrable surface curvature on the surface of the Earth. And it appears to us as flat. It appears to us as stationary, just like we've been observing it our entire lives. And not only that, but when you measure it, it corroborates the fact that your experience of the Earth is correct, that it actually is flat and stationary.
So why would what does NASA and these other space hacks and whatnot gain from lying?
Oh, they're possessed by demons, bro.
So the round earthers.
Now, I'm being silly, dude. But think about it for a second. Think about it, just for a second. Imagine, if you would, a world where the majority of the people in the world actually believe in a religious system. That's true. Right? Billions of people adhere to Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, all these things. So they believe in greater truths than just the material world. In other words, metaphysical entities that could cause them to do the things they do. Now, check this out. It doesn't even matter whether it's true or not. They believe it, and they could be motivated by it. So the motivations of people range from pettiness all the way up to grand things about the nature of God himself telling you what to do, or Satan himself telling you what to do. So I have no reason why people lie or why people want to do a deception, but I know for a fact that that's what people do. I know people murder, they rape, they kill, they do all kinds of evil things, dude. And it's inexplicable. We don't understand why they do it because we're not interested in doing those things ourselves. But rest assured, they do it.
What about you seen the plane flights? How if the Earth was flat, you should be able to fly from California to Japan in a straight line, but it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
Well, what makes you think planes should fly in a straight line?
It would be faster if the Earth was flat.
Okay, but what makes you think speed is their primary concern?
It's not, but
right. So planes actually fly in pre-approved corridors, and it's coordinated worldwide. And they also fly in commercially viable corridors. In other words, certain types of stops, certain fuel to pickups ratio. Right. So they're going to fly from port to port to port to port, picking up people, dropping people off. It's not just about getting from here to there as fast as possible. So looking at a plane flight and saying, oh, this plane flight alone is going to determine the shape of the Earth for me, that's not really a sufficient thing. So, for example, I flew, when I was deployed to invade Iraq in 2003, I flew from Hunter Army Airfield up to Nova Scotia, over to Ireland, over to Germany, then to Kuwait. Now, if you look at that on a map, that's practically a straight line. But it's only a straight line on an azimuthal map, which is essentially a flattened out globe projection. So does that mean that the Earth is a flattened out globe projection? No.
Hey, can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just. Oh man. Yeah. Would you look at any other possibilities, like the Earth can be like a cube or something else, or you just?
Well, I think about it this way, bro. Is that a cube is a three-dimensional shape that has 6 flat sides, right? So if the surface we inhabit is flat, then certainly that surface could be on a cube. But the thing is that you said, could it be something else like a cube? The problem is that flat itself is not a shape, right? Flat is a surface property. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So why does
So the overall? Go ahead.
But why don't boaters, people riding boats and stuff, fall off the edge of the Earth?
Well, for one, boats really don't go to the extent of the most southerly regions that often. Secondly, you're assuming that the places boats could go would be able to reach a place where boats would fall off. Second, you're assuming that water would also be falling off because the boat would be in the water. And now, if you know anything about water, if it's contained in a perimeter like a shoreline, then nobody's going to be falling off of anything. They're just going to be crashing into a shoreline. So it's interesting that you would assume that a boat just going indefinitely would just fall off of water rather than crash into some shoreline. Because it's just as reasonable to think that if you have an environment, that it could have an edge or it could have a barrier. So why would you immediately jump to the assumption it's going to fall off? I think it's because you were programmed to do so with iconography in the media that told you, and by the way, there's plenty of images like that, if the Earth is flat, it's just like a disk floating in space, where when you get to the edges, you could just fall off into empty space. But if there's no empty space to fall off into, then the idea of falling off the Earth doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where do you think the edge of the Earth is at? Like Antarctica or?
Personally, I think it's an indeterminate amount of distance directly outwards in the southerly direction. So that means I have no idea how far away. But whether it's an edge, whether it's a boundary, whether it's an infinite regenerating progression of creation that's just continually happening like an ever-expanding universe, you know? Because think about it this way, friend. Like, people who believe in this giant universe, they believe that the universe is constantly expanding, getting bigger, 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 bigger every second. Bigger, 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 bigger. But for some reason, when it comes to the Earth, they think that's impossible. Well, it's weird, because if one thing can just get bigger indefinitely, why can't something else get bigger?